It's deja vu all over again on Capitol Hill as members of Congress scramble to avoid another federal shutdown.
I'm really against these dysfunctional stopgap funding schemes.
We've got to be better at funding the government for a longer period of time.
Despite all the frustration on both sides of the aisle, the House of Representatives approved another short-term spending bill Tuesday to try and keep the lights on, this time until Friday, March 23rd. But it would also fund the Defense Department for the full fiscal year, and it would fund community health centers for 2 years.
We're not happy that only defense spending is being increased, and they do provide funding for community health clinics, but they decimate prevention, which is an integral part of what the clinics provide, prevention services to patients across our districts.
The bill now heads to the Senate, where leaders are close to striking a deal that would build on the House's proposal by increasing spending levels for both domestic and defense programs over the next 2 years. If the Senate approves that measure, it would then be sent back to the House for one more additional vote.
There are talks of disaster relief and other things getting attached in the Senate. And so if you do that, that perhaps brings a wider bipartisan coalition together.
What's not included in the bill is immigration, specifically an agreement to protect so-called dreamers from deportation.
In our meetings today, Leader McConnell pledged that we would have an open process next week, after this week. And what we're going to try to do is find a proposal, the bipartisan group, a great example of that can pass the Senate.
What we're working on is trying to get some kind of agreement. So at the very top levels in both the Senate and the House, I'm optimistic that they will by March 5th.
Even as the threat of another government shutdown was declining in Congress, President Trump threatened to force one if Democrats refused to meet his demands on immigration legislation.
I'd love to see a shutdown if we don't get this stuff taken care of.
In Washington, Samantha-Jo, Capitol.